You're getting emotional.
I would like Derek to go next.
Can you tell us why you're getting emotional?
So you're waiting to board your plane. And let's pretend you're not even on the same flight. Go. When I looked at them, I saw past versions of me.
Excuse me, ma'am. Something I wanted to say.
Immediately, the body language was off. He was speaking under his breath. In a controlled environment, he didn't even feel worthy enough to approach a girl I literally said, all right, you're gonna pretend to approach her and she's waiting for you to approach her. Yeah. All right, Derek, first off.
I'll get her attention.
All right, first off, I'm gonna button this up. This guy is a man who's been, for 42 years of his life, beaten down, told that he's not worthy, told that he can't get girls, you know? Stand up straight, put your shoulder back, all right? Posture, perfect. Now put this chin up, all right? Can you hold that there for 10 seconds? Time's a ticking, and life is beating you down for 40 more years. Do you want to take 40 more years of this? I wouldn't want to do that. Are you able to untuck your shirt? I'm gonna try something. I remember his sales call. Keep the chin up, cool. That call didn't end with him coming here. That call ended it with 30 minutes of silence and then him eventually hanging up. Head is down, life sucks. Head is up, life is great. This weekend was designed for transformation. I expected it coming in, but once you're here and once you see it for yourself, it takes on a whole new feeling. You look miserable, look happy. I just knew that transformation, if we could deliver it the way that we had intended, it was simple, the path was there, because I'm the example. This weekend, 30 guys flew in from literally all over the world. One guy came from the Philippines, several guys from Canada. It's crazy, they all come in from different backgrounds, and I wanted to see that transformation. Even if I didn't see it, I wanted them to leave feeling like they've at least gotten a little bit of momentum in that better version of themselves. On day one, I walked in 5 minutes away from being introed, and I could feel the energy was low. And then I went up and spoke, and I looked at these guys in the face. I turned around and I asked, who here knows that I dropped out of dental school to become a dating coach? Okay, seems like most of you guys. I talk about it quite a bit. Yeah, so I was in dental school, so I moved to Arizona. A little bit before that, I was like super inexperienced. I was a virgin until I was 21 years old. In college, I thought I was the guy who was gonna be like 35, 36, 40 years old, still single, gotta apply for the bachelor just to land some dates and like save my own dignity. And the first girl who like crushed my heart, I didn't even know I was gonna tell this story, which is funny. Crushed my heart.
I'm Bobby Goodwin. My ex and I broke up.
She was a girl who was a little bit younger than me.
I really, thought I loved the girl.
And she like outright came out and said, I like you a lot, we connect well with each other.
It just tore me to pieces.
You know, I'm in my 20s at this point, and I thought it was such a big deal that I just reached over and held her hand in the car on the way to this girl's place, right? We never kissed for like all summer, and you know, long story short, I kept talking to her because now when I would go to my school, for the whole school year, I had a girl who was texting me, validating me all day. How are you doing?
Really didn't have, much of a sex life after that.
This girl, she ended up just ghosting me. Like the next day, don't talk to her. I text her, we're supposed to hang out. She never responds. I called her, I Snapchatted her like 10 times the next day, nothing.
I flew all the way from the Philippines because that's how much Patrick James has impacted my life.
I was like heartbroken, and I was like, what did I do wrong? She uploads a picture to Facebook like 3 days later, and it's her and another guy who worked at the same pool, which is kind of funny, who was like this roided out, like typical like meathead that you'd see at the gym.
So what happened, when I turned 40, I was still single. I hit my low, really. I went after somebody that was just really bad for me, and it didn't work out.
And so she's like calling him her boyfriend. They have a picture, it's their profile picture on Facebook now, and they're like making out. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
then eventually I found raw dating advice.
I subscribed to his email letters, and
The impact, like, whoa, this guy is different.
That was around when I got into dating advice. And I remember that night I go to look into starting a little profile, and I like fill out the profile, and I'm like, you know, I'm in your guys' shoes. It's just like if you guys started a profile, especially if you guys were as bad as me at the time.
You know, how to approach women the right way, how to escalate. I didn't know any of this.
And I remember on Facebook, I get hit with an ad, and it's like, do you make these 5 friend zone mistakes? And I was like, I don't know. Let me see. And so I click it, and it literally changed the trajectory of my life. And this is like 6-7 years ago, right? And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Wait, that's exactly what that girl did to me. Oh, snap, that girl did that to me.
Throughout my whole life, I've been the king of the friend zone. Like, always stunk, boom, out, done.
And then around that time, I had a moment of realization where I was like working really hard on like getting into school, getting good grades.
When I had this episode, when I hit my low, I was like, I'm never, ever going back to the friend zone.
That I was like, I kind of just value this getting better at human psychology and figuring out how to talk to women more. And so I would study it as like even harder than I would study for my own school.
So the first content that I was exposed to was his book, and I was like, this is just incredible.
And then that gets into me reading The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, reading psychological studies on love.
This dude knows what he's doing, and that's what brought me here.
He's very visual, you know, so when he describes or tries to teach you something, he does it visually. And I'm a very visual learner.
For me, what happened? The one consistent theme is that I kept going out, kept taking action. For someone to get good at this area in their life, a lot of you guys, especially this weekend, using what we teach you this weekend, you gotta take massive action the way I did, right? There's no shortcut to success. And I think the vibe after the first day was kind of what I anticipated. Awakening, self-doubt. Is this really for me? Is this really gonna work? Can I really trust Patrick when he says that he can relate to me? Moment.
If I didn't do this now, I wasn't gonna do it ever. And like I spent every penny that I had to come here this weekend. I worked my ass off. I did overtime and double shifts. I got a second job. Like I just knew I had to do this. So like, what brings me out? Like the motivation to change my life for the better. There's no other better way that I can put it except for that.
Did anybody here know much about physics? All right, so what happens when you have something that's really massive in space? Does it have a lot or a little gravity?
It depends on the density, but
Right. Right, so let's say mass, right, if we want to be technical, right? So a little thing, big thing, there's going to be more gravity on a bigger object, right? Just a little bit on a smaller. If it's more massive, it has bigger gravity. All right. I only want you to understand this for the sake of just the picture, all right? Because it's not going to directly correlate. But the way I see it, if this is you, okay, and the size of your presence, your charisma, is the type of pull that you have, like gravity, okay? Literally the only thing that keeps you small, that weighs you down, that holds your presence down from anybody even noticing you as a viable sexual option is the amount of fucks you give, right? And I'm not gonna give a fuck about anything I don't have any control over. Meaning if I am talking to this girl and she gets pissed at something I said and it was just like a teasing, facetious line, do I have control over that? No. So am I gonna worry about it? No. What am I gonna do? Probably turn around and talk to some other girl, okay? Or if there's a girl over there and I want to approach her and there's a lot of people in this room, am I going to let the fear of potentially getting rejected by this girl in front of 30 men hold me back? No. Why would I not let that hold me back? Because I can't control, one, what happens with the girl I approach, or two, what your impression of it is. So I'm just going to worry about what I can control, and that is the fact that I'm going to go over there and actually say hi. All right? When you think about the world and your day in terms like this, things become very simple. They can become black and white. Am I going to stress out about this or not? All right? It's a quick glance. Do I have control? Nope. Not worried about it. All right? So who here kind of was like, I'm good. I'm pretty carefree. Anybody? We have any guys like that? They're like, I'm pretty good at this stuff. I want to call you because you raised your hand like this. Would you say you're one of those people?
Mostly.
Come on up. We got our first volunteer. What's up?
Someone dropped a quarter back there.
What's up, man? Patrick. What's your name?
Mason.
Mason. Cool. Nice to meet you, man. So this is one of those exercises that I used to do with clients when I take them out to a bar or nightclub. And I'll go first because what I'm about to ask you to do is probably going to be pretty embarrassing for yourself. It would be embarrassing for a lot of people, but we just learned that we're not going to worry about shit that we can't control, aka other people's perceptions, correct? And we brought up an example of someone who feels like in this group, he's one of those guys who's got this area under control. So I'll go first, but what I want you to do is I want you to literally dance with no rhyme or no rhythm, very intense, for 10 seconds. Can you do this? I'll go first. I want you to put a timer up to me. All right. Time me.
All right.
Tell me when to go.
Go.
Woo! Is that 10? Yep. Perfect. Do I feel good right now? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Why?
You expressed yourself.
Because I just proved to myself that I don't give a fuck, so it's not going to weigh me down, and my presence is now bigger, right?
Same thing.
Whatever the fuck you want.
All right. I'm going to give someone else a timer so you associate the negative emotion with them. I knew at the end of day one some guys would resist it. People are naturally resistant to change. And I anticipated that when we planned the weekend. And I knew after day one, when I'm spewing the stuff at them that I'm spewing, telling them stuff that they've never heard before in their lives, seeing the world from a different perspective that they've never thought of before, realizing that maybe they are good enough. And that seed of doubt, that maybe I am good enough. All right, let's now give him a percentage from 0 to 100 in terms of amount of fucks he gave or just amount of effort he put in to not give, like, just flailing, right? What would you guys score this guy? Who would give him 100%? 100% on totally free, no fucks given.
I would.
Perfect. Cool. Who's next? A couple of guys were just struggling with, one guy in particular, 42-year-old virgin. I don't know if he even wants that in the video, but fuck it, right? What's your name?
Derek.
Derek. Nice to meet you, Derek. So, who has the timer? You?
Yeah.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Now.
This guy is a man who's been, for 42 years of his life, beaten down, told that he's not worthy, told that he can't get girls, I'm not 42, but I was a 21-year-old virgin with the same insecurities. That's the thing. It's like it wasn't by choice. And when he came, I called him out. I've made a point to call him out all weekend. Yeah. Get him to go first. Yeah. And so he was one of the first people we called up for the banter session. Immediately, the body language was off. He was speaking under his breath.
Excuse me. Where are you flying to?
Massapequa? Yeah, is that what it's called?
I've never heard of that. Where is it?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just being transported.
I came up It wasn't planned, and I just needed him to get into his body, be present, and just project his voice out. He's been told no so much that he's kept his voice in. He needs to express it. He needs to know that it's okay. There's no negative consequence here. And you are worthy, you're good enough.
The first thing I noticed, and I'm glad you said that, because that's her experience. Yeah. But what caused that for me was, hi, I'm Derek. You know, hey, I'm Derek. All right? So I want to do a little practical thing. Face us. I want you to say, what's your last name?
Wald.
Derek Wald? All right. I want you to say, I'm fucking Derek Wald. Oh, wait, I'm Derek fucking Wald. I'm Derek fucking Wald. I'm fucking him. Stay off my man. All right. I
am Derek fucking Wald.
Are you convinced?
No, you are holding back on that mouth.
I'm not convinced. Let's not give any pity claps, all right? We got to make them earn them.
I am Derek fucking Wald.
No, I'm not feeling it. All right, first off, take a deep breath. Shake your arms. You were doing such a good job up here yesterday. Come on. Remember, you don't give a fuck. You can't control what they think of you. So stop worrying about it. All right? You're still worrying about it. Look at these motherfuckers in the eyes as you dance and shake. All right? Pick this man and look him in the eyes as you shake the shit out and breathe. You're not breathing. Breathe. All right. Close your eyes. Keep shaking, keep moving. Just feel the breath. All right, keep doing that. Stop jumping and keep your eyes closed. Breathe. I'm Derek fucking Wald.
I'm Derek fucking Wald.
So that's why it's effective. Because today, I did the same exercise with Aaron fucking Ford.
I've read a lot of like dating things, like basically, how do I say, like audiobooks. Like I listened to a bunch of them. Like even that, 50 Shades of Grey is not really a a book, but it's kind of the idea of like, just basically.
I am Aaron Ford.
Was there any passion behind that?
Nope.
Nah. Right. The biggest thing, another big thing for you is speak up, right? We could barely hear you. So own your words, and really just to own your words, just say it louder. Project your voice. As if I need the person over there to hear what I'm saying because my life depends on it. Because I got the codes to save the world, to shut off the bomb, or whatever you want to say, tell yourself, right? So right now, I am Aaron fucking Ford. Damn, I love myself.
I am Aaron fucking Ford.
I felt a little like there was a slight holdback, own it. Close your eyes. Don't even look at us. Get into it. Throw your body into it.
I am Aaron fucking Ford.
Better. I think your body needs to be less tense, all right? Throw your body into it, all right? Say it with your body. I like the voice, you're projecting well, but go, I am Aaron fucking Ford!
Feel it.
When he did the whoo and he let it out, I heard just a little bit of swagger right there. And I was like, it's in there, so we're gonna bring it out.
Loosen up. You're an athlete, you're shaking it out, getting warmed up. Whoo! All right. Woo! Now do it.
I am Aaron fucking Ford.
Hell
Yes, do it again. Do it again.
I am Aaron fucking Ford.
Yes. Do it again.
I am Aaron fucking Ford.
Again.
I am Aaron fucking Ford.
Louder.
I am Aaron fucking Ford.
Yes. One more time. Give it. This is the grand finale. One more time. Get into it.
Woo! I am Aaron fucking Ford.
That's right.
Standing in front of me wasn't this black bald man who had every insecurity in the world and thought he wasn't good enough. Here's a guy who, if I had just met him, I would have thought he was a wide receiver for the Denver Broncos. And he tells me today, on day 3, that he's a model. Why is a guy who has good looks here? He's dealing with the same bullshit as everybody. It's what's inside. The difference in energy. He's a new person. This wasn't even on camera. The first day we did a tension exercise. He's sitting in front of the girl and she's bad at the exercise, but he's thinking it's about him, but it's about her. She can't do the exercise. She can't be present in a presence exercise. We had to say, I feel, that makes me feel. Hearing that, I feel. It was an exchange of like, why can't you be present, right? And she goes, I don't know, I think it's because of you. Aaron Ford, he said, hearing that, I feel bad about myself. Okay. Now you see why, like, just look at him over the weekend, you know? Yeah.
There was an experiment. I forget exactly where it was done, but it was done several decades ago, I believe. It's called the 5 monkeys experiment. And what happened was they put 5 monkeys in this big ass cage, maybe like a zoo or something. And at the top of the cage, they hung bananas, a lot of them. And obviously, they're just like, oh, hey, what's going on? Hey, you know, oh shit, there's bananas up there. Dude, bananas. You like bananas? Let's go get those bananas. And so one of the monkeys would climb up the fucking cage and he'd go to grab the bananas. And right before he reached the bananas, the fucking experimenter who works at the zoo would spray him with fucking cold water, just like doused him. And he's like, what the fuck? He falls down, he gets on the ground, he's cold, he's shivering, he's wet. And now the 4 monkeys are like, the fuck just happened? What are we getting ourselves into? And the monkey kind of just sits there ashamed. And so another monkey's like, fuck this, I'm gonna get those monkeys. Second monkey goes up, tries to get it. He's like, oh, I know what's coming. And now a person from another direction shoots him with his fucking cold water hose. And he's now sitting next to the other guy who's cold, wet, shivering, ashamed, because you just got embarrassed in front of all the other monkeys that you don't know. Once they realized, we don't touch those fucking bananas. The next monkey who tried to even think about going 5 hours later after they kind of just forgot about it and wanted to try it again, what do those 2 monkeys do? Fuck no, get back down here, and they beat his ass. And they pull him back down. Here's where it gets interesting. Maybe a week or 2 later, a couple days later, I don't remember the exact timeline, it's not important. The experimenter takes one of the monkeys out and he replaces him with a brand new monkey. Brand new monkey says, yo, the fuck? There's bananas up there, bro. And so that monkey went up, grabbed the bananas. Before he could reach them, he doesn't even get sprayed. The 4 other monkeys pull him down and beat the fuck out of him. They're like, what the fuck, dude? Don't touch the bananas, right? And then slowly, they just start cycling these monkeys out. Over time, what happens? You have none of the original 5 monkeys. You have 5 new monkeys and generations of new monkeys after that. And all of them know one thing: don't touch the fucking bananas. So your self-talk combined with just the fucking standards put on you by the people around you, it fucks your shit up, right? It holds you back. That's why I truly value getting in the right environment.
You know, day 1 walking in, first guy I see, say hi, introduce myself. Other guys that walk in, say hi, introduce myself. And I was like, damn, these guys like, you know, all different walks of life, and we all struggle from the same thing, so I felt that brotherhood right away.
If you're not aware of your environment, then you can't consciously control what your environment is doing to you. And if you can't consciously control what your environment is doing to you, now you're not a good leader for women, for yourself, for your life, because what's happening? You're letting the environment tell you where you're gonna go in life. You're letting the environment give you the results that you're gonna get.
You know, this could be it, but that keyword was could. Like you're saying, I wasn't sure, man, if this could be it.
Everybody's favorite topic is themselves, okay? So if I'm in your environment, and if you're in my environment, and we're talking about you right now, do you think if he's interested in raising himself up and I'm interested in raising myself up, what do you think we're gonna do to you? Just naturally. You're gonna go down because it serves us.
And, you know, like my doubt only comes from my own ego.
And that's the world we live in. And it's not a bad thing, it's just the way it is. It's not a malicious thing that when I'm hanging out with you, I'm gonna choose to feed me and not feed you. You know, it's just human nature.
My ego trying to beat myself up again, trying to bring me back into that black box of like, you're not worth it.
Your environment affects you way more than you believe. And this weekend, we're gonna do some exercises to not only give you the environment. Why do you think we did a boot camp with 30 people instead of 2 people? Because I want you guys to have an environment. I want you guys to have a network of people that you know who are interested in this material. We've spent a weekend together. We've broken bread together. We've banged chicks together. All right, and unlike most boot camps, I brought the environment to you.
It was a blast, you know, and then coming in day 2.
Real quick, off the top of your head, who here knows the straight line path to seduction? I've taught it in a couple of places.
There was just so much more energy, and you could feel like the confidence of the other guys in the room. And I was like, you know, there's really something here, you know?
So attention, and then what comes next? Attraction, okay? What comes next? Connection. For all of you guys who don't know this, we're gonna be talking about this a lot this weekend. Then what's this last thing? Escalation, right? So most boot camps, traditional boot camps in the dating industry are 1 or 2 guys, and I'm gonna go with you, and I'm gonna scope this fucking town with you, hoping to find chicks to practice on, right? And some girls are gonna be into it, some girls might not, and hopefully we find some because, you know, that's why you're here for, right? So most boot camps will spend 90% of the time trying to find women for you to practice on, okay? And if you don't find those girls, or you spend 90% of your time looking for them, what are you spending 90% of your time not doing? This. So every time I've made another level in my life, when I dropped out of dental school, I took a huge risk. I did the opposite of what everybody else in my environment was doing. Why? Because my environment wasn't serving me, and I had that epiphany, and I was like, this isn't the shit I want to be doing. These people worry about shit I'm not worried about. And honestly, every time I've made a decision like that, or leveled up in my life, or went to a new level, it was because I took a risk, a massive risk, getting out of my current environment and finding a better one. And that's exactly what you guys did here.
A banter session, oh man. At the end, I was supposed to, you know, try to solidify a date with the girl, and I did, and I got her number, and I ducked out of Dodge. Like, I ran so fast out of that situation.
I mean, I could nitpick a lot of things.
And that's where it stopped, and I was like, why do I always do this?
If I had to grade it on a scale of 0 to 100%, I would have given you 87%, B+.
And instead of everyone just saying like, oh, that was good, that's fantastic, you know, good job, whatever. Like, Patrick actually stopped me, he's like, why'd you do that?
The only thing I would have changed was the very end, where you were like, so you want to grab some coffee? And you're like, well, okay, I guess we'll just meet at this place down the street in an hour. All right, sound good? Go.
And he broke it down. He asked the questions that I needed to hear instead of what all my friends would tell me. It's like, oh no, you're fine, dude. Don't worry. You'll get it next time. Like, he cut to the chase.
I would have been like, yo, so do you like coffee? And how did it play out? Yeah, I love coffee. Great, I live off that shit. There's actually my favorite coffee shop down the street. What are you doing later today?
Nothing. Just hanging out.
Let's go grab some coffee and continue this conversation. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Perfect.
What place?
Here, take my number. I'll text you all the details. Now I have her number. She has the details. There's a context for the reason I'm giving her my number. You know, I'm not, oh, perfect, I got the date, let's get out, right? It's like running away from an explosion.
And it made me realize a lot of things about where I need to work on. Like, combine what I could learn there to recover from, I'm shaking. There's some serious shit that I gotta work on, and if I didn't come here, I don't fucking know how long it would have taken me to realize that. Like, I don't. The amount of gratitude I have for this boot camp, like, immeasurable.
What I'm hearing is this is not just about the courage to date girls and to courage.
Yeah.
It's more of an internal, interpersonal, life-changing thing for you.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And with every guy that is here,
Sorry.
you're good. You were so good. You see yourself in every single guy.
Yeah.
You feel everything.
Yeah. One of my strengths is empathy. And that's why when I walk into a room of 30 guys who I've never met, but I know they're here for me, as soon as I look them in the eyes, all plans go out the window and I just start relating to them.
Keep shaking, keep moving. I promise to be a resilient, decisive action taker. I take full responsibility for the results I create in my own life. And I vow to be positive, open-minded, supportive of my fellow brothers here this weekend. And I promise to always do my best and forget the rest. This is a contract with yourself. Only you know what is written on those papers, not me. This is you. I don't know your vision, you know your vision. It's not my vision, it's yours. And I didn't just give it to you. It's always been there. Now it's in front of your face. So let me ask you, are you guys gonna take action on it? Yeah. I wasn't quite feeling that. Can we get a fuck yes?
Fuck yes!
Fucking like that. It's awesome.
Coming into the boot camp, man, I wanted to get that FaceTime with Patrick James. You know, I saw him in his YouTube videos, full of charisma and just fucking awesomeness that I vibed off of it and I loved it. So, like I said, I wanted to meet him in person. Every relationship I've ever been in, besides like maybe one or two, I've been cheated on. Every one. So, like, I put my dating life, you know, basically on hold.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
You're 27? How many relationships have you had?
Since I was 18, I mean, probably a good, 20 plus.
20 plus relationships. Those aren't relationships, those are flings. Yeah, me neither.
This is after I graduated high school.
Okay, great. You're 27. That's my answer, all right?
Yeah.
You got 50 years of this shit, okay? Just don't identify with the first 20 flings of your 20s as your future, all right? If a girl cheated on you in the past, that's about her, not about you.
Yeah.
Your future it's dependent on you, right? Are you gonna take action or not? Your past is not your identity though.
Absolutely.
And you're gonna figure it out, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
You do it once and it doesn't work, what happens? You do it again.
I really like the get out there, get off your ass, and do it to get results mentality. And I was like, yes, that's something I can vibe with.
Sip coffee shop, it's in Scottsdale. I used to work out of there all the time. And a lot of like young people, they'll go there, they'll get some work done. It's just a really good vibe, right? And I remember I was sitting out on a table outside and they also serve beer at this coffee shop, which is perfect, right? And so I was sitting there and I was working on something, probably writing an email newsletter. At the time I was single, there was a girl sitting at the table right in front of me and I'm facing her and she's kind of sitting this way. And there's tension there because I know she's there, she knows I'm there, I think she's hot, and I see her, she's looking on her computer. This is what she's doing for 3 hours, looking at her computer at photos from a photo shoot. She was like a model in a bikini. I'm like, man, how badass would it be if I went up and approached her and talked to her? And right when I thought that, I hesitated, and I didn't. And then I kind of just sat there in the tension, and I think she felt it. I could feel that she felt it. 10 seconds later, a dude walks in from inside the coffee shop. He's like, hey, how's it going? And this guy apparently had gone on a date with her and he was so far in the friend zone. And I was watching and he's like, yeah, you know, we should grab another beer sometime. And she's like, okay. She ends up leaving like 30 minutes later, never talked to her. She gets up, walks out, and she looks at me and she goes, hey, and walks away. I've never seen her again.
Do you want to live like that? No. I've experienced the journey. You can see the fucking shit come out, right?
This is so much more than just dating or women. This all of a sudden became life.
I don't voice myself enough as it is because I'm more down, reserved, and more closed off a lot. So that's probably something I definitely have to work on. And,
Why do you feel like you are closed off?
I mean, it's probably something in the past that I've had to deal with, kind of.
It's always something in the past. Just like Derek sitting next to you, man. The reason why your voice is so small is because your whole life people have been telling you to shut up and stay in line. Over time, how does that affect a kid's confidence? Especially when that kid in his class is the kid who maybe gets picked on, or maybe he's the smallest, or maybe he's the slowest, or maybe he's the fattest, right? We all have our own insecurities, but it's like, you know, you're a kid, you have no negative intentions, you're a clean slate, and then someone calls you an idiot, and then you speak your mind, and someone tells you to shut the fuck up. Over 40 years, what is that gonna do to a man, right? So you gotta just start valuing yourself, just like everybody here. I feel like to some degree, we all need this. I need this. It's something that we constantly are practicing, you know? So for you, start speaking with more, like literally the next time you're in an environment with you where you know nobody, just have an experiment and talk loud enough for everybody in the room to hear you. Because if I was talking to her, my voice is gonna be this volume. I promise you this, okay? If you do it a few times, you'll learn that there's no negative consequence for making your voice heard. Does that make sense?
Because me, I came in here thinking I was gonna get pussy. I can't lie. I didn't realize how life-changing this thing would be.
The major key to your better future is you, right? There's so many levels to that statement, right? And one of the levels is exactly what Jessica said. You gotta love yourself first, right? The major key to your better future is you. Not my approval, not her approval, not his approval or any of our approvals, right? It's you. So you gotta approve of yourself. Start loving yourself first. When she was talking about your eyes, just like the way you blinked your eyes, it's you. It's you. And that's what's giving us the vibe. You can use that to your strength, right? It is your strength because when you talk to someone, they naturally wanna engage with you. The only thing that's gonna prevent that is you being in your head, putting up defenses, not being present to the moment, not creating tension when in reality, you're not offending a girl or teasing a girl, you're giving her what she wants, which is the emotion of attraction for a high value guy. There's two ways to look at everything. Everything. An example, people get laid off at a company, but who benefits when they lay off people at a company? Who loses? People get laid off, right? Who benefits? The company. Yin and yang, there's balance. So however you want to think of it, positive or negative, the story you tell yourself is what happens.
I have changed so much in my own life in the past 6 months. So many small little things that are making me a better person, like cutting down on alcohol, like exercising, getting in shape, just the internal dialogue, what I talk to myself now. I mean, it's all positive. It was all negative before. So getting rid of all that negative energy and becoming positive.
How do I come across as this interesting, charismatic person when I'm thinking to myself that I'm giving off a bad vibe, a negative energy, if you will?
The only negative energy I'm getting from you right now is you haven't made eye contact with me once. All right, so that's the first thing I would change. Anybody remember I talked about barriers a little bit? We always create these barriers to protect ourselves. In the moment, it's I'm holding a drink in front of us as I'm talking to you, right? This is a barrier between us, and I feel more safe because it's between us, right? Whereas this, there's nothing between us. Man, this feels like a lot of tension. There's a lot going on here, right? So that's a subtle difference. But in the moment, I'm giving off a negative energy. I'm giving off a negative energy, and you literally cross your arms to create a barrier between you guys, right? I look for this in language, body language with women too. If a guy approaches a girl and she instantly does this, or if she's doing this, touching this area, or if she's like, those are little things. But when you do those, she's getting the same read off of you. You know what I'm saying? And women are way more present than most men, especially when you're trying to think of what to say, and she's like, who is this man in front of me? course she's going to be present, right? And so she's paying attention to that, and she's seeing this little thing or this little thing showing that you're uncomfortable, or she's seeing this, or she's seeing this. You know what I'm saying? When you approach these people, do you feel like you go up thinking, oh, this is a hot girl, I got to approach the hot girl?
No.
What are you thinking when you go up and approach a girl?
I'm thinking what I want to say and
Why do you want to say it like
how I
that?
want, well,
Why are you thinking that? See, like, honest question. Like, first, why are you thinking I got to plan out what to say? Like, don't think whether it's right or wrong. I just want to know why.
because I tend to be a very organized person, and so I tend to have all these steps.
Yeah.
All these formulas.
Yeah. I think subconsciously, if you dug deep, you'd realize that the reason why we feel like we have to plan what to say is because we think, well, if I don't say the right thing, then she's not going to approve of me. And if she doesn't approve of me, that feels like rejection. And if I get rejected by a girl, then what does that do to my self-image? And it's our subtle way of trying to protect ourselves. And oftentimes our ego says, you know what? Let's just not do it. You know?
So you're almost like defeating yourself before you can defeat yourself.
Yeah. Going into it, you got to shift your core thinking. What's motivating everything else? There's layers to this. And at the core, you shouldn't go up wanting anything from her. If anything, you approaching her should be an expression of how good you feel right now, right? When I'm up here, when I'm approaching women, Jessica said herself, I'm like this all the fucking time. All the time. And it's because when I wake up, I'm trying to just like talk to people, or just whatever I'm doing that day, I want to get into the zone and I want to start at the moment I wake up, right? And me talking to someone at the mall, a girl, the cute barista at Starbucks, it's an expression of me just living an awesome life in a good state, right? And so when I approach her, there's no me trying to get this girl's phone number, trying to get her approval. Remember, you don't need her approval. You don't need to take care of her. You don't need to please her. You don't owe her anything, right? All you want to do is be the source of fun emotions and and be on your purpose, right? And if you see a hot girl and you're at the mall picking a shirt for yourself, okay, yeah, part of my purpose is also improving myself and my dating life, but me approaching her does not mean I need her approval to fulfill my purpose. Me approaching her is fulfilling my purpose because I took action.
And one of the most life-changing things of my entire life was going to boot camp in the military. Because you came together, people from all different parts of the world, you're a little group of guys, you had to go through thick and thin together, and at the end of that, all of you went together and you're all like best friends. And it's the same thing as this.
And that's why this is so powerful.
Yeah.
That's why you have to know that you are making more of a difference than you know. This isn't about cameras, this isn't about this documentary. This is about the fact that you needed this as much as they needed you.
You know, this is not an easy process for me. I have a lifetime of bad habits that have been created, which he's helping me undo. And I couldn't have done this alone. That's the thing. I mean, I really was at a point where there's no way I could figure it out on my own. I needed his direction.
If something doesn't change in your life, nothing changes. You have to change something in your life or it'll be the same. It won't change unless something changes.
Can I start? Yeah. My name is Derek Wall. I'm 42 years old. My question is more about fashion. I'm really not really good at it.
That's not your real question. It's not about fashion, is it?
Well, my life stinks though. I'm really a shy person. I barely talk to anybody here.
Why is that?
Because you already fallen out from banter, I'm afraid of other people judging me.
What I remember from your banter was that you got the exercise right faster than Aaron Ford. So what's wrong here?
I don't know.
Seems to me like the reason why you feel this way is right here between your two fingers. It's the story we tell ourselves, like Brian said, right? Alex's story, who went first, and I know it's his story because we've had many coaching calls,
is that I'm a virgin and women don't want to be with me. And you know, it's if you see it as a negative, how's it going to come across? Well, yesterday during your banter session, it was coming across like you hate your life because you were standing like this and you were speaking up as if you were imposing on everybody's will. Like I told you to approach a girl, she's waiting for you to approach her, and you're speaking to her like you're imposing on her time. You know, but that's not your fault. Your whole life, you've probably been told no by everybody. You've been told you're not the type of person who gets girls, right? And what does that do to a man over time? He shrinks in, right? And your body language was literally shrunken in, okay? Change the physiology first. When you can change the physiology first, you breathe into your body, you become present to the moment, you speak like you're not imposing on my time, but you speak like you have value to give me. I'm going to buy into that frame eventually, right? If you speak with enough conviction where that you think what you are saying is valuable to the moment, then I'm going to listen. I'm just going to passively accept this is what's happening. You're talking. When I talk, you just sit and listen. Why? It's because I'm like, I think it's because, you know, of this. No, it's because I'm speaking with conviction. And I feel like I have value to give. And I'm trying my best to give it to you, right? I think you just need to believe that maybe you are good enough to talk to people. Maybe you are good enough to dress well. Maybe you are good enough to lose your virginity, right? It starts with here, the story you tell yourself.
I also think too, it's like, you know, I don't want to go on the deep tangent, but like, why do you think your life stinks, right? Is it because you're thinking of everything you don't have?
I never really had a girlfriend, or never. I worked for Walmart.
Okay.
I really hate the job.
Okay.
So yeah, I really think my life stinks.
What do you think you can do to change that? If you hate your job,
well,
you could probably find a new job, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about making a puppet show.
Oh, okay. So you're into puppetry and...
I'm learning how to make puppets.
What kind of puppets?
Yeah.
Hand puppets.
It's pretty cool.
Like actual hands?
Well, you put it in your hand.
Okay. I just gotta make sure it's not some weird thing where you're like collecting bodies and you're like, these are my puppets. Yeah.
Some Jeepers Creepers stuff, dude.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's pretty cool, man. I mean...
Is that something you're passionate about?
Yeah.
I like hearing about people's passions. Why? Because I have passions myself. I can relate to that. Right? People can relate to wanting to start a puppet show, but having a job they hate. Who here has a job that they don't necessarily like? Who here has a job that they fucking hate? At least one person can relate to your situation, right? So you have value to him, but if you don't convey that value and it's like, hey, I work at Walmart. You're not giving any value to him. He wants to run away now because you're kind of bringing him down, you know? So if you want to not bring him down, bring yourself up first. That way when you talk to him, now you're not bringing him down. Remember, it's going to be the average, right? So if you're down here and he's up here and you talk to him, you're going to bring him down automatically, right? Raise up to his level, not in terms of intensity, but in terms of just owning what the fuck you say. I don't care what you wear. I could be up here wearing a tutu. I'm serious. I literally was going out with a group of girls when I was in dental school. One of them had a necklace, like one of these fucking neck ornaments that these women wear. And it said something on it. I don't know, it was like a catchphrase. I was like, this is fucking dope. Let me put it on for the pregame. And then I go to the bar that night with all my dental school classmates, and the bouncer thinks I'm gay, so he doesn't let me in. All right? And he tried to take my ID too because he thought it was fake, right? But he was just being an idiot, right? But I didn't even notice, and I was also having a great ass time because when I put this on, because it was like an expression of my fun, it fueled my confidence, you know? So I could rock anything because who I am in here doesn't change no matter what I put on, you know?
The hours that it's taken, the frustration that you felt,
Yeah.
the uncertainties,
Yeah.
just feel it all because they're all valid.
Yeah.
And you gotta feel it.
Yeah.
So just feel it.
Yeah.
it's just been life-changing for me. You know, it really takes you out of your comfort zone. It changes you as a person for the better. He's been such a positive influence for me. That's why I'm so grateful to have come across him.
Anything else you want to put in there?
Come. If you're on the fence, come. If you doubt yourself, come. This is something you can't predict until you feel the energy in the room, until you get out of the environment that's been telling you no your whole life and come to an environment like this where you finally realize you're good enough. Just come.
I mean, I would jump at the opportunity to come to an event like this.
That's what I have to say. Like, that's it.
Don't be a skeptic. I mean, do it. There's nothing to lose. If you are struggling in your dating life, if you are struggling with finding your path, this guy can help you. And he's the real deal. So, you know, of course, I understand why people will be skeptical. There's so many people out there and you don't know if someone's genuine, someone's not. I'm telling you, he's genuine. And this is the real deal and you would be crazy not to come.
You have to invest in yourself, and that's what I did. And I feel like it paid off tremendously and will continue to pay off.
And honestly, like, I spent every penny I had to be here, but it's just fucking worth it, dude. So fucking worth it.
The people that I met here, very awesome, and I feel like I'm gonna actually have some lifelong friends. That's why I'm gonna make a big effort to keep them in my life, because I know they're all striving for the same thing. So we keep each other accountable and we'll all get there.
I've got different priorities now because of this boot camp. I've set goals, I've set objectives, and like I realize, like, you know, if I want to get better at this social and dating thing, I gotta make time for that. Friends who love me and never see me are gonna start seeing me again because I'm gonna make time for them. I'm rambling at this point, but I can't express how much 3 days has changed my life. Like, like, dude, dude, you have no idea. This guy, like, he walked in, he had all this energy. I'm like, oh, he must be in his 30s. Patrick James is 1 year older than me. And my jaw dropped. I was like, there's no fucking way. Like, he's lying to me. But like, this guy has not said a single lie the entire weekend. He was nothing but honest with everybody. I envy that in a way. I look up to that. And I think I needed that too.
If you're super serious, like I was, about getting back into the game and being the best possible version of yourself, put the money down, buy the plane ticket, buy the room, buy the tickets for the actual event, and come. It'll change your life.
It's worth flying halfway around the world for, definitely.
Trust your fucking gut and go with it, because that's all I did. Something told me, go, you need to be there. This is the time. And I did it.